Hi, it's Sonia and welcome back to my art channel. Today is going to be a review video. It is of a gifted product. It's a 90 brush pen set of these Arttx Acrylic markers. I did want to give these a go because I'd seen a few other videos with them, and also I had reviewed previously these pens, which are the, I can't remember the correct name, there's a name for them, but anyway, the shakeable ones, the ones which have they've got a bullet tip, and remind me more of, I guess, the Posca pens that I'd previously used, and you really do have to shake these ones to get them going. But I've been playing around with these a lot, and also I wanted to do the brush pen because these are more convenient. You don't need to, so I'll just open that up to show you how they come. You don't need to shake these, and I do like a brush pen nib or with markers, so I was keen with my mixed media work just to see how they'd work for me, because a couple of the other artists I'd sort of seen using them work in a bit of a more, I think, a different way. And for any of you guys doing, I guess, abstract work, mixed media, alter sketchbooks, obviously there's a range of these sort of pens now on the market, and yeah, but I'd have to say I've seen these a lot, and you probably have as well. Okay, so let's get going. I have already swatched them. There's 90 of them. That'd be a very long video if you had to watch me swatch them. And so I can just quickly show you now. Here is the range of colours in my sort of quick swatching fashion. I put crosses. I've got to be honest, I did notice this is when they were brand new out the box. I did notice that they were very juicy, very lovely a nice feel. I like the feel of markers, I've got to be honest with you. But a few, where I put the little crosses, did seem a little bit drier than the others. So, yeah. I think I'd watched the only couple of other videos where I'd sort of checked out. As I said, I don't like to watch I try not to watch too many videos in the same sort of genre as me, because I don't know, otherwise I think I don't want to be influenced too much. But I just wanted to check, like, and I think it was a Helen, oh gosh, I can't remember her surname, Helen drier video, and I don't think she'd had any issues when she swatched hers. But then I just saw one shown to me, it's like they knew, this morning, and that was Emily Hughes, and I think she'd noted that one of hers was dry. So yeah, I mean, this is something to think about. I guess this is the risk with marker pens, that whichever about, you know, there is the risk that which you don't want really, that one or two could be drier than the others. Okay, let's get on to making some art. As I say, just looking at the range of colours here, I like a big range of colours. I've talked about before, I kind of, you know, when I'm doing sort of abstract work or mixed media work, I don't necessarily want, I want to be able to grab a colour I fancy on the day. I kind of have that feelings, colours give me certain feelings, and I like to be able to just, yeah, pastels. I do love these sort of softer colours, which obviously if you're painting you can mix, but when it comes to markers, I'm not sure one can sort of make those as conveniently. Okay, so let us now, I have done a little bit of prep in terms of not using these, because I really wanted to give my honest go of them in terms of drawing with you. But I had, just to get the feel for acrylic markers again, I did use these to make a few just acrylic marker drawings, and I thought, let's go back to florals. Occasionally I do like to do sort of more stylized or playful florals, sort of, yeah. So those two I did yesterday, and I would say with these, is, you know, really it was important to shake them up, even especially if you haven't used them for a while, because otherwise you get sort of the separation, they don't come out. This is a bit, no, can I use the back of it? What can I use? Let me just grab a bit of paper. So that, see, so I've shaken that, so it's come out quite nicely. But sometimes they come a bit darker than, or lighter than, if you don't give these ones a good shake. Whereas you're not going to, assume, have a similar issue with these brush pens. It's going to be no need to shaking them. The only thing is, in terms of, these seem a bit bigger as well. I mean, you can see how much ink you have in them. I don't think any of them, unfortunately, are refillable at the moment. I think they said it's acrylic, but they say it's non-toxic. But yeah, I don't know how much is in there and how long these will last, which is something I will come back to you as I use them more and let you know. Okay, what I have also found with acrylic markers is paper is sometimes important, especially if you're just going straight on top of the paper. They are great for, what did I draw on them with? It's in a different sketchbook. But this paper wasn't the best. I can show you. Yeah, this was with acrylics, with these pens, and I just didn't love the feel on this rougher paper, because obviously you can get piling more with certain papers. What was a nicer texture for me and worked really well was smooth. This is a smoother, so this is like quite thin actually, bamboo drawing paper. And I imagine Bristol, in the past I've also used Bristol paper, which is very nice and smooth. Also, where is it? It's a sketchbook. I had a little bit of fun. I love, this is my little abstract book. It's fun just to pop in, especially at the weekend if it's busy, and just come and, yeah, I just did a few of these pens, acrylic, and I really just once I was like, oh, I really want to test out what's it like to sort of go heavy with them. And it's sort of a nicer feel. So let's have a go to start with in this abstract book. And I'm going to grab, do you know what? I just want to keep an eye out so I can test out those pens which were a little bit drier to hand. Also, it's handy sometimes to have a swatching sheet so I know what colours are going to be like. Let's put this here. Wow, I'm going to knock everything off my desk. Wish I just put it on the floor. So, okay, so let's just get going. Yeah, so these have a lovely opaque feel. And as you can see, they're covering up. This is a notebook. It's covering up pretty well the lines. Just gonna have a go at making shapes, mark making. Let's try out if I can find the one that was a little bit. Just fun too. I think some of the problem is when you have paints. I mean, yes, you can. There's ways of getting going quickly with painting, but there is a convenience to crayons and markers. See, this one is. I think this one, isn't it? It is a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it just. But if I press down, ink is coming through. It just doesn't feel quite as juicy as the other pens. I'm just going to get going, 'cause I wanna... So with abstracts, what I like to do, okay, why I kind of like sometimes getting a large set of colours in crayons or oil paint, be it, especially as more the media that you can't really mix, it's harder to mix, because then you can just grab a handful of colours and you just get to experiment putting colours next to each other. And you can go with your feel, what you feel like on a day. Yeah, so these are nice. If we compare, so I'll show you. Let's just grab, this has been, if I get this out, what you need to do, oh my gosh, I just nearly shook it on the, no, it hasn't come out. Careful, probably best to shake it with the lid on, but you do, these in some ways a little bit, here it comes, a little bit harder work. Whereas with a brush pen, you can just grab. Also, you can, I assume because they're fine tipped, if you really are into detail, it's a bit easier to control and then play with like that sort of calligraphy, because it's the changeable ability of the line, whereas I don't imagine that's going to be quite the case with these ones. These bullet tip, I can't really do that. What I will want to have a go at as well is grabbing, I will have a go at layering on top of other media, like acrylic paints. Yeah, what do you use your acrylic? I know you people of the school and stuff, you can use it for like rock painting, and because it can obviously go on other materials other than paper, acrylic markers, and people with the sort of Posca pens. But to be honest with you, I've just tended to use them in my sketchbooks. I have no idea, about light fastness. I'm not sure. But yeah, they have a very but I do like the brush pen tips. That's something I've always kind of enjoyed. More so than I don't know, I did buy 8 years. The Poscas do last a long time. These are from years ago, but I just find fine libs a little bit. I try and make sure I use my materials, but I don't tend to gravitate towards fine tips these days. But what I like about brush pens is you've got the option of also being a bit delicate and then also pressing down firmly, so you can cover in a big area quickly. As you can see, I'm completely messing up my set, but I'll tidy it up later. I just want to get going with you and make, so I'm trying to give, I know there's many artists doing some beautiful, very illustrative, traditional, or using them for portraits and landscapes. So yeah, I just wanted to, one of the most important things, I assume you should probably let them dry properly between layering, but can you layer? I love this little abstract notebook. This paper is actually thin, but it does take a bit of, it's taking gouache, a bit of watercolour. Now, again, advantage for me, I do not personally, I've got one set of alcohol markers. I've never really gravitated towards alcohol markers. I think it was actually my kids who were more into them because they were sort of watching Jazza and learning to do sort of more cartoon manga drawings and the blending. They really got into the blending properties, but from my point of view, I think I much prefer, just normal water-based markers if I'm going to use them. Okay, I might, no, I don't want to cover up that actually, because that was just me mucking around. We will test out. I need to go back and see, this is the fun. You can go, you've got the opaqueness, which you can't, I personally don't believe you can really get that effect with, you know what, I've got some water-based markers on my, these are just like felt tips really. You're not going to be able to. Sort of a different effect. I assume I kind of like acrylic markers like this because I love gouache and I love the sort of the, you know, the fact that you've got these pastels and they're quite strong. Okay, let us go on to florals. Oh, actually, let's actually quickly, for anyone, I am going to be making a video on altered books because I feel like I've made quite a few altered sketchbooks now. So one of the things, obviously, that I've shown before is you can obviously paint over pages and then go on top. And I think there's some here in this book. This is a good one I've got out actually because I can show acrylic markers. Which page has got acrylic markers? Okay, that's, I think, an acrylic marker. Bear with me. Yeah, this was one that I had to go trying to cover up with these acrylic markers, and I've also used this set of acrylic markers on top of, I don't know if you should actually, because you probably damage your acrylic markers maybe if you're lifting up the gouache. But anyway, let's have a go now, last acrylic marker, at how these ones, how these behave on this paper. I'm not going to do loads, I just want to, so if you had a small, if you did want to do more, you just wanted to get going and start a page off. So what would be quite fun with these is, you know, let's just have I need a clip. This book is nearly finished. Ouch, just let me pinch myself. Get going, make some shapes. Just go with what you feel. When you're doing that whole, nothing is wrong because it can be covered up, it can be restarted, but it's more what are you like feeling or not feeling, or what do you want to, I don't know, get out, or maybe you, so some of it's fun doing these tiny, just repetitive, I guess thinking, I don't know, Agnes Martin or that sort of meditation. Dots. Can't remember her name, but the artist obviously does dots. So yeah, as you can see, these do work well to cover up text. So they're, in terms of my mixed media work, and they feel quite nice on this book page, to be honest with you, as well. There's no piling. I just want to quickly test. So I've tested, doesn't matter if I don't put them back in. Yeah, as I say, maybe I've just had bad luck because I'm not sure. I haven't trawled YouTube for all the videos on these pens because there's lots, but just a few of these, they work. They are working, to be fair, but there is a difference in the juiciness in the ones, as I said, that I've put X's by. And I'm trying to test those out again just to give them another go. Oh, this one's lovely, so this is fine. I don't know which one it is. Then what you can do with this sort of page is then come back and go over it, like use a gouache and paint round or cover areas. If you don't like your drawing, you can obliterate it, just leave areas, collage, add a bit of collage to it. So that you can see, this isn't completely opaque, you can see the bit of the brown pen underneath, but I kind of like that. This has been the fun for me with this type of art, is you sort of think, oh, I want to cover that up, and then it doesn't completely cover up. You're like, oh, actually, I quite like the transparency. Yeah, so this is working well. In theory, I feel, I've got to be honest, for this, I think I prefer the feel of them on this paper and the ease compared to, now I can't find the page, I really should have stuck the one I showed you earlier, which was all acrylics, the shakeable ones. There's a little bit more, so that's going to make me sound really lazy now. I mean, a little bit lazy, but there's a little bit more work involved in getting these going, to be fair. Okay, so that is on an altered book project. Finally, I thought I would try and do another floral, a bit more. Let's do some, for me, proper-ish drawing now and have a go at drawing a floral. So I did have a book out to look at for inspiration. Where is it? But I'm going to look. I've got these sort of pretty terrible, a fake stalk of orchids. And I'm going to do completely the wrong colour, like swap up. If you're ever a bit getting bored, maybe you've got, I don't know, the same house plant you're painting again and again, or fake flowers that you're painting for the, I don't know, 100th time. A fun project. In some ways it's good to draw things that you've drawn before, because I think naturally we get more creative and we're likely to change them up in surprising ways. Like get looser. So yeah, if you want to get looser, draw something so well that you're so bored of it that actually you can draw it from imagination, or draw it from memory, I should say, and just play about with making the image much more simple. Well, not because I feel like you don't care as much. Yeah, this is going to be a massive orchid, and I don't know where, it's not even going to be, it's my own made up flower now, really. So I probably, look, assume these aren't really for doing, I'm colouring quite a lot, so you can see there's a lot of ink in them, but I probably will keep them for more smaller pieces because they are finite, they're pens, and I don't believe they are, as I say, refillable or recyclable, so there is that to consider. Because obviously if I was going to paint a big area, I've got acrylics, but these are great for adding, I think, for adding nice little details, and for this sort of, for these, you know, little small sketchbook drawings, especially if you've got a nice small size sketchbook. This would be great in those, I imagine. Help me think, what colours shall I do? This probably isn't going to show. Let's go for a lighter one. Will this show? I should probably actually, let's let that dry a little bit. Sometimes I'm a bit too hasty. Now what colour? I'm going to go for, is it a mustardy yellow? For the stalk. Come down like this. As you see, I'm just going straight in. One could also perhaps do a drawing with very lightly with pencil, because that would cover it up, and I have done that before if I'm a bit more hesitant. And as I say, I'm just playing. This is just to play about with the markers. The other, if you've been using thin paper, the other thing you can do, and you're like, what am I going to do with this, is stick them in. They're quite fun to stick into an altered sketchbook as well, or to make a scrapbook of. Or for any people who, you know, you can make those into prints as well. I imagine they would scan quite nicely. Okay, is this dry now? Ooh, this is the one that is a bit not very... Yeah, So I'm just trying to be a bit more delicate for me. One of the joys, why I really like this sort of material is, yeah, you can have the contrasts and play with colours and layering. Let's play about with some maybe little dots as well. I'm going to completely not worry about colour. Just going to have some fun really. I kind of like that. Now, shall I, let's try and use a, so you can see a range of these. I like this colour. I don't know what do you call sort of a teal. It's almost a little bit grey. It's not a sea green, I'm not sure. Let's play about with a two-tone flower. Yeah, I'll be interested if anybody's got these ones or brush acrylic markers. Let me know your pros and cons. As I say, this is my first time using this particular style of acrylic marker. I want to use that as a... So for people who've got more experience than me, yeah, do let me know what your findings are. How long, and one thing I will be interested in finding out is like how much ink do these contain? Are they long lasting? I mean, that would be a, if I was ever, one of the things I like to consider before purchasing. To be fair, with the Posca pens, I feel, I know these ones aren't refillable. I was sort of considering buying in the future the, what are they called? The Molotov ones, but they're quite pricey. Because you can refill those, I believe. These are another one quick thing to mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. So far, these do not smell, which is good. I don't like any really. I've actually recently given away some high flow acrylics because they had I just didn't like the smell, and I did notice weirdly. So with Posca, I hadn't really, correct me if I'm wrong, is there a smell? But these ones some of these had a slight odour to them. Whereas these brush pens, I haven't noticed that yet. Well, that's another reason why I do not really like alcohol markers at all. So just playing about with the contrast on top. Let's try, is there anything else I would, if I was wanting to see? And oh, should we look at the gold? So yeah, there's metallics in this set. And I feel also, which I personally love, I like metallics. I do like when I'm looking through my sketchbooks, especially I've discussed before with the Japanese watercolours. There really is, I don't know, I think if we're making personal art and we're trying to, like, as it were, express ourselves through art, a lot of it, and then you want to look back at it, it is like the pleasure of, oh, that's got a rather nice sheen to it, and the different textures, and even, do you know what I kind of like, which is a bit, you know, let me know if you're the same. I really like those sort of illustratory, or artists who do, when they're using what I kind of weirdly like markers, is sometimes when you do, I don't know if I can demonstrate it with these, because these are actually very smooth. This is all going to go wrong now, but you know, when you get, with really cheap kids markers, you get that like hatching, sort of the fact that someone, it's not smooth, it's not then blended into each other. You see here, I think you see slightly the sort of, like you've gone quite harsh on, I don't know how you talk about it, this is so not technical. But I like that. I like that it looks so handmade. In contrast, maybe these days, in contrast with digital, well, you can probably get this effect with digital illustration, I get that. But sometimes I find it looks too, I don't want things looking too perfect, if that makes sense. I like that sort of basic, people would say childish or whatever, I don't know. Rustic. Yeah, I really do enjoy making things, drawing on paper, making sort of like very unfinished, haphazard. There's just a real sense of the handmade in some ways, isn't there? I think maybe a lot of us are wanting that, especially in our own practice. Okay, I've done a little voiceover here because I did waffle on at the end, and I really wanted to try and sum up my findings quickly for you. Basically, my conclusion is that this is a pretty comprehensive and nice range of colours, personally, from myself as an artist. I did enjoy using them. I would say that, yeah, be aware of price also. At the moment, currently in the US, when I looked up, they are this set at $90, and it's kind of May 2025, are priced at $69.99. So yeah, I always feel, obviously work within what's your budget and whether or not it's a product that you really want or would use. I also did find in my set that there were 4 which were not as juicy, would sort of, what's the word, a little bit dry, and I have given them another go off camera because I really wanted to see if I could get the paint flowing, but the reality is they are, especially the pink is very dry. I can get some colour out of them, but they are a lot drier than the other pens, which did have a very nice consistency. Now, I guess the interesting thing is that this is me using them on sort of day one. I will report back and see how long they last, and yeah, how much paint, because you know how long. I think that's going to be one of the major considerations, isn't it, really, with pens. I've been pleased, you know, with Poscas in the past, because even though those are quite expensive, they have lasted me in the way I use them for a few years, and I haven't had too many problems with them. So I will report back on these. As ever, thank you for watching my video. I hope this has been useful. And yeah, thanks to Arttx for gifting these, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.